Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy. And today we're going to be discussing the U.S. Bank Business Line of Credit Cash Flow Manager. And I want to talk about how I was able to get this business line of credit with no documentation. And of course, it was a brand new business, or at least 6 months old. So it was not 1 year. I did not have to submit any documentation, bank statements, tax returns. But I want to talk about the process that happened with this. And I also want to give you all the data points that you would need to keep in mind so that you can get this exact same thing. It's a great product. It's very similar to, I would say, think of it just like another credit card product, because there is a card that you can use to access this, but you can draw on the money in cash whenever you need it. Now, it does have a much higher interest rate, of course, so you would want to use this sparingly. I would say only when you needed cash for a specific reason. Other than that, I recommend just using a 0% APR credit card. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So right off the bat, there's something that I want to correct. In the comments, I told someone that this is a regional bank. It's actually a national bank. So U.S. Bank is a national bank. It's a division of U.S. Bank Corp. However, the U.S. branches are super regional. And what I mean by that is the branches operate in 26 states. Now, U.S. Bank is the 5th largest bank in the United States, and its headquarters is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with branches in the following states: Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Washington, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. But with that being said, these are the states that have branch locations. You can actually apply for this product without having to go into a branch. So you can get this same product even if you don't live in one of the aforementioned states. You don't have to be there. You can actually be in any of the 50 states. There is an exception for Texas that I do want to mention. However, we will cover that in the video. Now, let's talk about what the cash flow manager actually is. Cash flow manager is just the U.S. Bank term for this business line of credit. The U.S. Bank cash flow manager is a revolving line of credit that helps businesses with cash flow needs, and it can be used for inventory, for seasonal purchases, and short-term cash needs. So if you wanted to withdraw $25,000, you can actually get it in cash by transferring it to your checking account with U.S. Bank. Now, what are the features? It's $10,000 that you can request for this credit line to start, and it can go up to $250,000. There are competitive rates with options to lock in a fixed rate on existing balances, and the only repayment you have to make is on what you've borrowed. Now, you can access this with a Visa Platinum card. There's also convenience checks, online banking, business service centers, or at a branch, and you can easily manage your credit through online banking. So it's very accessible with various options for you to actually use this. Now, if you have more than $50,000 for this particular product, then you have no fee. If you have less than $50,000, there is a fee of $150 that you will have to pay annually. The interest rate will be different for everyone, and depending on the time that you're watching this video, the prime rate might change, but you're looking at whatever the prime rate is plus 2.49% if you set up auto pay to make payments when you withdraw any funds from this cash flow manager. That's going to be your interest rate. For mine, it was somewhere around like 12.49%, so fairly high, which is why I'm going to use it sparingly. Not always. If I have a 0% APR credit card option, I'm going to use that before I use this, because it's just going to make a lot more sense for me. This is straight from the U.S. Bank website. If you haven't been a U.S. Bank customer for at least 12 months, your business must be in one of the following states. These are all the states that we just went over. Again, that's if you haven't been a U.S. Bank customer for at least 12 months. So if you at least have a U.S. Bank account and it's been open for 12 months, you should be able to apply for this even if you're in a different state. What gave me more indication of that was when I went back through the application process, I saw that I could choose between any of the 50 states, and no matter which state that I chose, even if it was not on this particular list, it still allowed me to complete the application. So with that being said, unless someone else is in a different state and I'm wrong, then please correct me, but as long as you have a US bank account open for 12 months and you have a business that's been incorporated for at least 6 months, then you should be able to apply for this no matter which state that you are in. Now, again, if I'm wrong, then correct me, but from what I read online, that's what I am understanding. So I don't believe this is just a regional product that you can only get in one of these states. You can get it in any of the 50 states. Now, in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Texas, this product may be available, but you have to actually check your zip code. Now, I couldn't find out which one it is online, but you can call at 844-300-9678. If you do that, then you'll be able to figure out exactly if your zip code qualifies for this product. Again, your business has to be established for a minimum requirement of 6 months. If it's not 6 months, then you are not able to apply for this product. So again, it needs to be 6 months that your business has aged and you have to live in one of these states. Or if you don't live in one of these states, you still have to have your business open for at least 6 months and you have to have a US bank account open for 12 months, or you need to be a US bank customer for at least 12 months in order to apply for this. So let's talk about some data points here. I actually got the credit pull information from the website. So, it's actually going to vary between what state that you're in. For me, it pulled Equifax, but it can actually pull either Experian or Equifax. And this is what it says online before you apply. As part of the application process, we'll be requesting a consumer report. If you've placed a freeze on your information, please consider contacting Equifax and Experian bureaus to unlock your report before applying. So again, for me, it pulled Equifax and I had a 751 score on Equifax. I recommend that you have at least a 680 or higher before you apply for this product. I would say that if you have a relationship with US Bank, that would definitely help. I would open up an account with them if you don't have one now. Like say, for example, you live in one of those states where it requires you to have the account open for at least 12 months. My recommendation is open up the account now. If you have a business, cool, it'll be aged, and leave some money and just wait. Now, if you live in a state that was in that list where you only have to have a business for 6 months, then I think you'd be okay with a 680 plus, and then you can apply for this product. I would try to build some sort of relationship with US Bank beforehand if you can possibly, but if you don't, that's okay. I was able to get all of this again with no documentation, without having to provide anything and really not leaving any money. However, I do have a strong credit profile now, so that does help me, I believe, in getting approved for these without having to really go through much work. Some other data points that I would recommend: you want to have less than 2 hard inquiries in the past 90 days. No derogatory marks, no late payments, no collections, no charge-offs. I would also recommend 5% or less utilization. Now, that's what I had at the time of applying, but I think that you can get away, perfectly fine with 10%, maybe even 15. I would shoot for no higher than 15. If you're 30 or 35, why not just apply? There's no harm in it, right? Because you can remove the hard inquiry anyway. Just, be mindful that with these data points, everyone's credit profile is unique. No one's is identical. For mine, this is just what I was at. No derogatory marks, less than 2 hard inquiries in the past 90 days, 5% or less utilization with a 751 Equifax credit score. All right. And then we're going to talk more about this loophole, right? Because I actually applied for a much higher line. I worked with someone who was really, really, really good. She took her time. She called me like every morning for like a week to keep updating this application and, letting me know, hey, if we go less than 25,000, there's no financial review. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's just do 25,000. We'll change it. We'll adjust it. And I don't need to send in any documentation. So just be aware, if you want more than 25,000, so it can be 25,000 plus if you give them documentation. That made my process very lengthy. Even though I thought that I had enough information, I had the W-2. I'm going to keep you guys updated with that because honestly, this no doc shouldn't be a big deal. Now that I've had this business, it's going to be 1 year in March of 2025. It's time for us to get our tax returns done. Let's have a legitimate business. Let's have documentation. This whole no doc thing should not be a problem. Now, for beginners, if you're starting a brand new business, that's really why I'm making this. at least you know you don't have to wait all this time to get a business line of credit, just 6 months, and you should be fine. All right, so currently we are on the U.S. Bank website. In order for you to find this particular product, you're going to go to the very top and go to business, and then you're going to look for business loans and lines, okay? And then you're going to go to business lines of credit. Now, this one's going to be really easy for you to find because if you notice, the cash flow manager, manage cash flow, is literally the only thing you can apply for where you don't have to make an appointment. All right. So it's not going to be hard for you to find this one. It's going to be the only one that you can apply for without an appointment. Now, if we go to, let's go to learn more first. It'll let you know here the exact same things that we talked about. The credit line ranges from 10,000 to 250,000, about the rates, about the accessibility with the Visa Platinum card, your checks, online banking, the business service center, you know, all those different options, and you can easily manage this online. And then the fees, okay? I would always come back here and take a look at what this says because all of this information is subject to change. I just want you to understand that this is what was listed here at the time of recording this video. So just in case things change and it doesn't quite look the same, you'll understand why. All right, let's go to apply now. Either you'll be securing this with some type of collateral or you're looking for unsecured. Now, unsecured, it's no collateral needed. It is a higher interest rate and line amounts are up to $100,000 if it is unsecured. Now, if you wanted to get up to $250,000, then you would have to secure this with some sort of collateral. Now, let's go to start application. Now, if you placed a freeze, again, even if you knew nothing about this bank and data points, they tell you right here, consider contacting Equifax and Experian bureaus to unlock your report before applying. For me, I'm in Nevada. They pulled Equifax only. They did not pull Experian. For you, they may pull Experian. I don't know, but we do know it's one of these two. And for this particular product, they don't pull TransUnion. For US Bank credit cards, it's usually known that they pull TransUnion on the business side. So just know that with this one, it will be different than the credit cards. All right, let's go to get started. Now, if you have a US Bank account, then you can log in. You need to enter your first name, last name, your email address, you confirm it, and then you need to enter a mobile number that's not a landline, meaning you need to be able to get text. If you cannot get text, you will not be able to complete this application. So if you have a voice over IP, you need to make sure that you can get text, all right? So fill this out and then hit save and continue. Now, once you fill all of that out, you need to enter all of your identifying information, your date of birth, your social, your personal address, your country of citizenship if you have dual citizenship, and then the country of permanent residence. The next thing you'll have to enter is your employment and personal income. So for your employment, just put whatever it actually is for you. For me, technically, I just put full time because I employ myself, and then you would enter whatever your position is in your business, or, you know, if you have an employer, just put whatever the position is with your employer. So whatever you want to choose that makes the most sense. And then you're going to put your personal annual income. Now, I will tell you this, based off of your income will determine how much you're able to actually request. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to put 155,000 on here. And if you were to put like, let's say 92,000, 87,000, you may have a limit to how much you can request on that cash manager. I just want you to understand that's what it's based off of. Now, they should not request documentation, but I recommend you putting whatever you actually make. Put what you actually make because you never know. All right. So let's also choose our source of income, whether it be you're a business owner or employment. If you have a business, it might be both. You're employer and you get money from your business. So it can be both. And then you'll hit save and you'll hit continue. Next, you'll enter your structure. Is it a corporation, an LLC? Notice you can do this as a sole proprietor. So technically, you don't even have to have an EIN number. You can do this as a sole prop. At least it gives us the option to. So I would think that maybe it's a possibility. So if you are a sole proprietor, you may want to actually try to see if you can qualify for this as well. You will then put your EIN number here, and that's going to be what you got from the IRS in order to file taxes for your business. So enter that information in here, and then you'll enter your legal business name. Once you're done with that, you're going to enter your DBA, doing business as, if you have like an alias or something else for your business. You'll then want to enter your business phone number in the next section, and then you'll enter your main office information. If your home address is also your main office, that's okay. You can enter that. Is this address where you will use the funds? I would say yes, if that's where you'll be using your funds. The mailing address is where you would like to receive mail for this line. You can do main office, you could do home. If it's the same, it doesn't matter. And then your business registration. When did you start doing business? When did you incorporate originally? You would enter that date. And I just want to enter this really quick because I want to show you guys one more thing. I want to show you exactly what it looks like when you actually put in which state you're registered, because I think that's going to give you more indication if you can apply for this and you don't live in one of the 26 states that were mentioned. Now, are you a primary business owner located in the U.S.? Yes, you are. Was your business formed in the U.S.? I'm assuming yes, it was. In what state? So notice here, I have all 50 states, right? I can pick any of them. And let's just pick, I don't think I saw New Jersey as a state. So let's pick that one and then we'll go to save and continue. Now in this next section, it's going to ask about your role and your ownership. Now for me, I usually just select that I'm the owner, maybe CEO, maybe director. It all just depends on what's available, but any of those options should, work. I'm just going to put owner. And do you have significant authority to manage or control your business? I mean, yes, if you're the CEO, if you're the owner, if you're responsible for this business, then of course you would, right? Are you the sole owner of the business? If you are, then select yes. If you're not, then you have to enter everyone who has more than a 20% stake in this business. Now let's hit save and continue. Now it says, yes, I'm the 100% owner, and let's hit confirm. There's no one else. Now, state law requires them to collect information about your marital status. Are you married? Are you unmarried? You want to enter that information in there. And then how will you use the cash flow manager? It's only going to give you a few different options, but for me, I did operations and expenses. Now, gross annual income. They want to know what is your business gross annual income in a fiscal year. Enter whatever your business gross annual income will actually be. If you have a projected amount of what that's going to be, enter that amount in there. All right. So if you were saying your business was going to make, I'm just going to put the same amount because I know I put something similar. And then annual net income is going to be the income is gross sales of your business minus all the expenses. Then I can say maybe 92,000 is going to be what I have gross. Okay, next you're going to describe your business. You can enter really anything. Like I can say I sell books or, I sell clothes. It doesn't really matter what you put. It's just whatever your business is. So I just put I sell clothes, and then what industry most closely fits your business: clothing and clothing accessories, merchant, wholesaler. I'm just picking something random right now. And is your business involved in any of these industries? Just put no, because if your business is involved in any of these industries, then you're not going to be able to complete the application. So we're just going to say no. And then you'll need to provide additional information if your business is in one of these unique industries. I would just say no. And is your business registered as a money service? Obviously not. Will this cash flow manager unsecured be used for political activities? It will not. And we'll save and continue. Now, notice that it lets me go up to 31,000. I believe this is based off of the information that I put originally, right? Now, even though it's based off of this information, we have to bring this down to 25,000 if we do not want to have documentation requested or we do not want to be in need of a financial review. Now, the reason why I said make sure you put what you actually make is because I don't know if a financial review may be flagged because of the amount of money that you put. Maybe you put such a high amount that they want to take a look at it. So I would just put what you make. And if what you make will allow you to have $25,000 as a credit line, then that's good. So don't put too much more than whatever it is that you think that you can feasibly handle or what you actually make. So now here's the summary for a $31,000 line of credit, which, hold on, let me calculate that again, recalculate. So it's going to be an estimated interest rate of whatever the prime rate is plus 4.49%. Includes a 0.50% discount for auto pay from a U.S. bank account. So if you have a US bank account with them and you set up auto pay, you will not have to pay as much in interest. There's a slight discount that you can actually get, and there will be an annual fee of $150. Now, special programs you may qualify for. There are some different programs that are offered by the government that you can possibly qualify for by filling this out. Does any owner of 20% or more of your business have liquid assets that exceed 5 times the requested amount? If you actually have liquid assets, meaning it's cash that you can pull at any time, that exceed 5 times the amount that we see here, then go ahead and put that. Now, does your business have liquid assets that exceed 5 times the requested amount? If your business does, then click yes. Now, there is a business diversity lending program that is for you to read and for you to answer on your own. Now, to process your application, we'll need to refer to your credit and tax records. I understand that providing authorization to U.S. Bank to obtain credit records and other credit and employment information about me and my business for the purpose of verifying my identity, preventing fraud, and evaluating credit. I agree that all the information I am providing is accurate. This is your credit check. You're consenting to the credit check. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to click on this. If IRS transcript 450C6 is required, I expressly consent to lender obtaining my tax return information for the express purpose of qualifying for credit. Again, we should not have to submit any type of returns if we're doing less than $25,000. It should be no financial review, but you need to agree. All right. Now, beneficial ownership, you must notify U.S. Bank of any change to your beneficial owners in order for you to process this. And then once this is done, you would click apply, and that would be the end of it. Now, I'm going to show you the email that you get after you apply, and the hard inquiry does not happen right away. It takes a little bit of time. So leave your Equifax or your Experian open. All right. You have to leave it open in order for you to get the hard inquiry, because it will take some time. They will actually pull it later on the back end. All right. But it should be, I would say, within 24 to 48 hours. And then they're going to contact you by phone. And then I'm going to actually talk to you about that after I log into my US bank account. Now, you will receive an email like this. We'll contact you soon. All right. Thank you for submitting your Cash Flow Manager unsecured application. We will be in touch with you shortly about the status of this application and provide you with the next steps. So this happened January the 6th. That's when I initially did this. That was 10 days ago. All right. So again, my process took a lot longer than what it normally would have. It was because I started with 31,000. I did an amount that exceeded 25,000. And then there were a few other things that I had to do in order to complete the application that made it take longer for me. Now let's log into the US Bank account. I'm going to show you the Cash Flow Manager, and then we'll kind of just discuss everything else that happened, and then we'll close this video. All right, so I have my State Farm business credit card, and then I also have my business loan with US Bank, and then I have my Cash Flow Manager here. So the Cash Flow Manager is pretty straightforward. Right here, it shows the available credit line of $25,000. This is the amount that is available to draw from your line of credit. The amount may not reflect today's account activity. So just so you know, it just may not reflect exactly what's going on. My payment due date, February 14th, 2025, if I actually had a balance. And then this is the day that they funded the line. So it all started after I completed the application. For me, I had to do a identification with US Bank. They just verified my identity by having me hold up my ID to my face. We did that through an actual link through the internet. Someone called me, they contacted me, and all they did after verifying my identity was then submit it again to make sure that I was approved credit wise. They called me back, credit came back good. And this was like a day at a time. Like first the identification, credit came back good. Everything looks great here. We just need to submit it to underwriting. Underwriting came back financial review because I had this amount. Again, the person I work with was calling me like every morning. She was really nice, and she made the process way easier. Like she made it super smooth. So really, you know, shout out to her. She was very, very good. And she let me know, hey, if we drop this down to 25,000, they won't need any documents. Because I sent her my bank statements. I sent her my W-2 that I had just gotten from ADP because I pay myself. I told her I had not filed my taxes because this is a brand new business. I don't have more than, you know, 1 year of tax returns, let alone 2. So I can't give you something that I don't have. So she went ahead, talked back with them. They redid the application. They dropped the amount. She sent it back to underwriting and she said we should hear back in a couple days. Literally the same day, she emailed me back and said it was approved. And when it was approved, I had to sign some documentation online. That was it. And this was in my account the very next day. Really easy process once I got through all the other things. But yeah, that's the only thing about this. You just really have to make sure that you don't request more than 25,000. And as long as you do that, you should have no issue getting approved for this product. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about data points or any questions about how this product works or anything that I did not answer, please leave your questions in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. If you do apply for this, let me know how your process went. Let me know if it was really easy. Did they request any financial documents from you? If they did, tell me the reason why. Hopefully it wasn't because of, you know, you asking for more than 25,000, as that should not be an issue. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.